What it is, YouTube? It's Playback coming back with another bullseye of a video here today on the channel. We're gonna be showing y'all how to mix and master warm acoustic music, just warm music in general, preserving that warmth and really getting that professional mainstream sounding master in 2025. So if y'all do like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. You want to support the channel? Well, check the links and let us know what you think. Check out the website. We have a beautiful studio here. And, if you guys want to book a mix or check out the studio, go ahead down below. We would love to work. So let's get to these gems right now. All right. So first thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to play the music. Imagine the song to be like a conversation. Imagine you as a mixing engineer. You're like a therapist. Okay. The person walks into your office, which is the song, and now the song's got to tell you, okay, what problems does it have and everything like that. We actually been mixing this song in the other videos, so check out the previous ones, but we're just gonna listen to it and have a conversation with the music. Tell us, what does it need? How you feeling, track?
Can't sleep now. Time to feel like you're alive. Take this to calm down. I'm sorry I can't empathize. Victim of perception. It's all in my head.
All right, really cool. So it's a dope acoustic track. First thing about it, I'm hearing the mix is telling me, hey, I need some warmth. Okay, it's already pretty warm, but hey, let's get something that is kind of gluing it. So I'm gonna already know, what type of compressor that I wanted to use for this. So I'm gonna use something along the lines of maybe like the MJUC. So it's important to see like your plugins that you have is kind of like a pantry. You got to have all the seasonings like lemon pepper, garlic. You want to see it like if you're in the military and you got an arsenal. You feel me? You got an armory. You literally got every type of tool for every type of situation. So that's why I'm going with the warm bus compressor like this, and let's see if it works or not.
Can't sleep now. Time to feel like you're alive. Take this to calm down. I'm sorry I can't empathize. Can't sleep now. Time to feel like you're alive. Take this to calm down. I'm sorry I can't empathize. Victim of perception. It's all in my head. Repeatedly thinking that this will never end.
So I actually ended up liking the style level a little bit better. So it has 3 different types of tube compression. So I'm gonna use the style level because I just like what it sounded like. Usually with a bus compressor, you want to go with a slow release, but also not a slow release, but maybe a quick release, depending on the groove. The slow attack is probably what you want for sure, just to have that max transient or all the transients coming through. So let's keep playing around with this.
Can't sleep now. Time to feel like you're alive. Take this to calm down. I'm sorry I can't empathize. Victim of perception.
All right, so ever slightly tapping that bus compressor before, without the bus compressor, it sounded like, the vocal was a little too loud. Like the instruments weren't clamped down enough. I kind of did that on purpose because I know acoustic music, usually like the vocal and the guitar is gonna drive the song, right? But you got to think about it too, though. I didn't have any master bus processing while I was actually mixing it, so that's an important thing to think about. The end game, right? Because usually when you start compressing, your vocal and your whole mid channel is gonna start getting pushed back a little bit more. All right, so after that, I think that we're gonna be bringing in something like Spectre, and I just kind of want to warm the like the mid range even more. You feel me? Actually, maybe even the high end.
Can't sleep now. Time to feel like you're alive. Take this to calm down. I'm sorry I can't empathize. Victim of perception. It's all in my head.
All right, cool. So far what we did is we threw in a Spectre just to boost in a little bit of top end, and I kind of like what we're having. So after that, I'm gonna use something like a Ozone. I want to use Ozone 11. Let me go over here, and yeah, it's just all about subtle moves. So I specifically picked the Spectre and I put it on warm mode because I know it's gonna give me a little bit of extra top end, right, without any harshness, right? Because it's using a warm tube type of boosting EQ situation. Another plugin that I like to use too that I think I've been using it a lot is I'm gonna use the little radiator on the master fader. I know it's crazy, but I love to use it for acoustic music because it gives that density. So we turn off the noise first of all, and yeah, parallel blend that.
Can't sleep now. Time to feel like you're alive. Take this to calm down. I'm sorry I can't empathize. Victim of perception. It's all in my head. Repeatedly thinking that this will never end. You can't sleep now. Time to feel like you're alive. Take this to calm down. I'm sorry I can't empathize. Can't sleep now. Time to feel like you're alive.
All right, so at that point we're adding a little bit more mid range. The mid range starting to get a little bit spicy, so I'm gonna bring in something like a Soothe, or maybe I might just bring in like a Ozone Stabilizer. I find myself using these plugins a lot. Um, just because they have a great way of letting you pick like the genre and everything like that, so it just brings a nice bit of musicality to the entire process, to be honest, when you use something like an Ozone Stabilizer. Because I'm doing all this boosting, right? I'm not trying to use boosting EQ, because boosting EQ can only go so far, but when you use saturation, like now you're starting to bring in like tone and shit like that, you feel me? So to kind of counteract that a little bit, I like to use plugins like Soothe, on the master bus. But when you use Soothe sometimes and you attenuate too much, it's gonna bring in digital distortion, and we want it to be like smooth analog distortion. So Ozone Stabilizer might be good, and we're gonna probably follow it up with a widener as well.
Can't sleep. You can't sleep now. Time to feel like you're alive. Take this to calm down. I'm sorry I can't empathize. Victim of perception. It's all in my head, repeatedly thinking that this will never end. You can't sleep now, time to feel like you're alive.
All right, so after at that point, we used a little bit of the imager. I'm listening to the acoustic guitars too. I want them to like really like get spread out a little bit, and I kind of widened the mid range a little bit too, just so that things don't feel cumbersome with the cello and all that shit like that. So yeah, at that point, I would probably throw in a vintage limiter. I like to use a vintage limiter because I know the vintage limiter is gonna continue with my overall theme of the costume party. Like I'm having a Halloween costume party. You're gonna come through as Batman and Robin. You feel me? Type of situation because it's cohesive with the theme of the song, which is warmth. I already knew I wanted warmth before I opened up any plugin. So yeah, now I'm gonna go with the vintage limiter to get some dirty volume.
You can't sleep now, time to feel like you're alive. Take this to calm down. I'm sorry I can't empathize. Victim of perception, it's all in my head, repeatedly thinking that this will never end. You can't sleep now, time to feel like you're alive. Take this to calm down. I'm sorry I can't empathize.
All right, and around this time, because I kind of like what everything is sounding like, we mixed the whole songs in the stem, so everything is kind of already sounding good. I would just bring in like a volume, a WLM, and I would just listen to like the loudest part of the song, which is the part I've been repeating over and over again. And I would just make sure that I'm hitting somewhere for acoustic music, maybe like -9, -8.
You can't sleep now, time to feel like you're alive. Take this to calm down. I'm sorry I can't empathize. 6 months to numb the pain, it would have happened anyway. But you're not alone. You learn to cope and life goes on. You learn to cope and life goes on. You learn to cope and life goes on. You can't sleep now, time to feel like you're alive. Take this to calm down.
All right, so that's something to also know too. I'm starting to hear like a little bit of harshness between the vocal because I've added so much saturation. At that point, I'll throw in a spectral shaper. This is an incredible tool, especially on your master bus to get things to like be like cohesive in that upper area. So I usually throw it on the light mode, and I would usually like hit the solo, and yeah.
Life. Take this to calm down. I'm sorry I can't empathize. You can't sleep now. Time to feel like you're alive. Take this to calm down.
So it's a great plugin to like really just control a certain area. So you could even use it in the low mid. But yeah, that's kind of how I like to use it the best. So that's pretty much the end of the video here today. I just wanted to show a bunch of tools that I like to use to get warm acoustic masters. We showed all the saturation, and we showed like even when we get everything to be dense and tasting good, that we still kind of got to dial it back a little bit. And also there's different types of limiting that can also bring in tone. So it's not all about just, you know, getting it as loud as it can be. It's all about bringing in tone with the certain plugins. So just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of the YouTube gang. Don't forget to check out the website. Appreciate y'all now. Peace.